Miss Rachel did an interview with Mehdi Hassan, friend of the show, Mehdi Hassan of Zeteo News.
Are Palestinian children less human than other children? Should we care less about them? I don't quite get where the controversy is coming from.
It's sad that people try to make it controversial when you speak out for children that are facing immeasurable suffering.
I'm sure you have a lot of good people in your lives who are saying to you, just be quiet. It's not worth it. What do you say to them?
Our compassion doesn't have boundaries or borders. We just love kids.
Why do you feel this urge to speak?
Miss Rachel's a YouTuber for children, okay? Kids love her. And she did the most unimaginable crime of all, which is recognize the humanity of Palestinian children that are being ruthlessly slaughtered by the apartheid state doing a genocide. Yeah. HasanAbi heads in the chat that have kids already know who Miss Rachel is, I suspect. The debate in question, are Palestinian children worth caring about? This article is truly depraved. This is, I believe, from the New York Times. What an insane framing. Why tot celebrity Miss Rachel waded into the Gaza debate. Facing criticism, Rachel Accurso defends making the plight of children in Gaza a primary focus on her social media feeds. The idea that like you can frame the conversation like this with an inherently antagonistic framing is so insane. And I think this is the type of that actually makes people check out, okay? This is the type of that makes people go, what? Miss Rachel doubles down support for children in Gaza? The do you mean? Like, this is not a double down moment. You shouldn't be antagonistic to her. You shouldn't be acting like what she's doing is controversial. The real newsworthy argument here is why this would be seen as controversial to begin with. Accurso's activism has divided Jewish parents distraught by the relative dearth of posts about Israeli children with whom many Jews worldwide feel a powerful connection. Miss Rachel seems to be someone who's really, really good-hearted, but in the context of everything that's going on, she says, I care about all children. But really, she's talking about the children of Gaza. Stacey Hackner, a teacher at London Cheddar, a school of Jewish instruction, said in an interview, that has left a lot of Jewish parents feeling quite isolated. Me. Why not me? Accurso's unique position opens her up to a felt sense of connection or even parasociality to other parents, said Brooke Aaron Duffy, a professor of communications at Cornell University who studies the intersection of labor and new technologies. If you look at the images, Professor Duffy added, referring to Accurso's posts of children in Gaza, it is showcasing the young children who are experiencing these vulnerabilities. It's not unabashedly political, but within such a polarized climate, everyone is up for scrutiny and critique, especially if you have that level of audience engagement. If you talk about the children that are being genocided, in the process of those children being genocided, then it makes me feel bad. It makes me feel bad. It's genuinely so up that Miss Rachel is literally just a person that sees all people equally and is nice to all kids, and she's being smeared this way. Like, look at how wonderful this interaction is with a 3-year-old double amputee from Gaza. I met Rahaf from Gaza. She has the best laugh. She falls a lot, but she's ready to get right back up again and ready to play. Insane. Chicago Jewish Alliance, who also was one of the organizations that protested and criticized the University of Chicago for hosting me, had this to say about Miss Rachel, just so you understand, like, what Jewish advocacy groups are actually invested in and what their mania looks like, okay? Because when you think about it, you're like, oh, Chicago Jewish Alliance, like they're a Jewish advocacy group. They're probably normal people who care about anti-Semitism. That is the way that they are designed, okay? But that's not what their goals are. Their goals are to vilify pro-Palestinian advocates or even people who see the humanity of Palestinians. And no matter how perfect of a victim someone might be, a child that is a double amputee, that is insane. A child in Gaza receives a prosthetic doll. Miss Rachel shares it with the world. The message, look at what the war has done to children. But here's what she didn't say, that Hamas started this war. They hide behind children so they can post videos like this, that Israeli children were the first to be burned, butchered, and kidnapped. She didn't mention Kfir Bibas, 10 months old, red hair, or his brother Ariel, age 4, or the 5-year-old girl shot point blank while hiding under her bed, or the Israeli kids, Jewish, Arab, and Christian, who live with air raid drills instead of recess. She ends the video saying she'll keep caring for all children. All children? Then where were your tears for the babies dragged across the border, for the toddlers mutilated in front of their parents, for the kids growing up in bomb shelters because Hamas wants it that way? Because here's the truth. In Israel, children aren't just Jewish. They're Muslim, Christian, Druze, Ethiopian, Filipino. Their families pray in Hebrew and Arabic and Amharic. And they are being targeted, not in spite of that, but because of it. So yes, we grieve Rahaf, but grieve without context is propaganda. This is just heartbreak. It's strategy. Hamas wants this imagery. It builds it. And when influencers amplify only half of the story, they play right into it. If you care about children, start with the Bibas Boys. Start with October 7. October 7. October 7. October 7. Start with the truth. Freaks, bro. Freaks. Somewhere along the way, Zionist groups decided this is the way to talk about it, like reframing everything within the context of like Jewish grief and recentering the conversation around how American Jews feel and what Israelis feel in general. And that's not the case. Like many American Jews also look at what's going on in Gaza and go, I'm going to either shut the up about this or I'm going to speak out about this. The average person is going to look at the imagery from Miss Rachel and see what that organization is saying and go, you are insane. You are a psychopathic person. You are a sociopath. Who the thinks like this? You're an evil monster. That's it. That's it. And it's crazy. Like, why do you present yourself as a evil monster? I do not understand. And I'm going to tie this back to flop tubers again. The only reason why you would find yourself presenting this monstrous perspective as though it's something that will bring people to your side, okay? The only reason why you think this is because you are so echo chambered that you have not even began to try and understand the perspective of others. Someone who is even 5% not on your side is immediately branded as a enemy. That's it. That is how you find yourself in this unique predicament where like the average person looks at what you're saying and goes, oh my God, you're a psycho. You are a psycho. Because all of these conversations are happening within the backdrop of a live streamed Holocaust of mostly children. It's so insane. Ms. Rachel for Little says, it's not a crime to say the children of Gaza should have food and medical care. It's a crime to keep it from them. From playtime to propaganda, Ms. Rachel defends her anti-Israel pose. I mean, Israel. Like, what do you mean? Israel can suck my dick. Like, what the You can say this about every country. You can say this about America. You can say this about Saudi Arabia. You can say this about Iran. You can say this about China. Say this about Russia. You can say it about Ukraine, but God forbid you say it about Israel doing a goddamn genocide. Oh my God. You are positioning Israel as being anti-children. When someone comes out and says, I'm pro-children, I think children should survive, and you immediately go, wow, well, this person sure seems to be anti-Israel. Well, now you have revealed that Israel is anti-children. You're doing that. What the if you go after people that are humanizing Palestinian children, like I am a much better target for criticism by Zionist groups, because I do talk about the context and the nuance and the history of why militant resistance against unjustifiable things such as genocide and apartheid exist. Okay. But when you're coming after someone who's like, I'm pro all children surviving, you basically present yourself as a villain, dude, like a comic book villain, not even like a expertly crafted villain. Like if someone were to talk like this in a comic book, you'd be like, well, this is not a very well written villain at all. Like, what the one is this black and white? What the hell? And so many of these groups, so many of the Zionist advocacy groups that masquerade as like Jewish advocacy groups have whipped themselves up into a frenzy that they will never understand why Israel is a pariah state. And they will never understand why the normal average person that hears them speak like this, look at them and go, dude, you are a villain. You are a psycho. You have primed yourself into believing that every single Palestinian is an enemy, is a parasite that needs to be excised forcibly off this planet. It's the same thing as Nazi Germany. That's it. And that's why I say Israel is a Nazi Germany style country, and its actions resemble the Holocaust, and its supporters are Nazis too. That's it. It's crazy.
I'm thinking about the boys, and I was asking if there's any way they can come here. And this wonderful woman was saying, because I was asking kind of her to, she was translating, and I said, is there any way for them to come here? And she was saying no. And she was saying they don't eat anymore on FaceTime with them. Sorry.
No, it's a horrific situation.
Yeah, look at this dangerous Hamas propaganda.
And then the translator, I remembered she had said, like, thank you for seeing our children as human. when I had spoke out before. And so I want those little boys to have everything my little boy has. And their mom's a teacher like me. She's a math teacher.
Like, if your first response to someone recognizing the humanity of Palestinian children is that you perceive her as a threat, you are a threat to humanity, okay? You are a villain. You are a bloodthirsty monster where you go, oh my God, I can't believe she cares about Palestinian children. Why doesn't she see the world from my lens? Why doesn't she see the world in the way that I do? And why doesn't she recognize that these little children are actually little parasites that are going to grow up to be Hamas? It's all lives matter. It's literally an all lives matter argument. But in the backdrop of this is not like systematic discrimination, but something that most American black people will also recognize as infinitely worse than what is happening to contemporary black voices in the United States of America, a genocide. Okay? You are literally all lives mattering a Holocaust. You're a psycho. Do you now understand why I have no time for idiots that will be like, well, what about my feelings, dude? What about my feelings in this? Oh, you're just using the Holocaust of children that you advocate for every single day, that you advocate against every single day as a way to shield yourself from criticism. It's like, no, dude, I'm criticizing you. I'm criticizing what your approach is, okay? You're a psycho. You're a cowardly psychopath.
And Rahaf is a 3-year-old double amputee from Gaza. She lost her legs when her home was bombed, and months later was medically evacuated to the U.S.
إحنا رايحين على أمريكا عشان نكمل العلاج.
Miss Rachel saw a video of the little girl, now living with her mom and a host family in Missouri, watching her show.
She's just so precious. Hopping like a bunny, and she was kind of hopping on the couch.
And arranged to have Rahaf come visit her in New York. Rahaf is part of a new group of fans Miss Rachel discovered last year, refugees of the war in Gaza.
I was tagged in a video of a toddler and a brother and a sister watching in a tent, and I saw the toddler swaying and the little girl smile, and I was just so touched.
Dude, I can't believe the New York Times covered Miss Rachel, and then in the process of covering her, they literally got quotes from stopantisemitism.org. She is impossibly nice. It is shocking. I think New York Times, not CNN, New York Times, when they covered her, they literally covered her as being too sympathetic to the Palestinians. She's nicer than you. Many people are nicer than me. Do you think I'm a nice person? I'm a nice person overall, but I'm not going to be nice if someone is a bully. I will bully bullies all the time. If you spent a good deal of your time and effort and energy on vulnerable populations, marginalized populations, on those who are defenseless, I'm gonna on you. I'm not going to be nice to you. I'm not going to use nice words. It's bullshit. I have a tremendous amount of privilege, and I'm trying to use that to give voice to those who are otherwise voiceless in mainstream media. Okay? I'm going to defend those who are systematically disenfranchised. This is very frustrating for a lot of people who feel like a big man. They feel only big when they have someone else to put down and someone else to look down on. Okay, is at the heart of the insecurity epidemic, especially amongst young men. Those people. Pro-Israel groups are attacking an online children's educator for taking photos of herself with Palestinian child amputees and expressing sympathy with their suffering in general. These people have plumbed to the lowest depths of humanity. Last month, the advocacy group Stop Antisemitism labeled Accurso the anti-Semite of the week, and then the New York Post reporter sent a letter urging Attorney General Pam Bondi to investigate whether Accurso is receiving funding to further Hamas's agenda. Accurso posted nearly 50 times about the children of Gaza, most of which is filled with misinformation from Hamas. Only 5 times about the Israeli children of the group, which monitor statements about Israel on social media. Like, dude, giving any credence to Stop Antisemitism, you might as well ask the local crackhead what they think about Miss Rachel. What does the local crackhead think about Israel's genocide? Is it real? Do the Palestinians deserve less? Is less more? Here's the local crackhead. Yeah, Stop Antisemitism isn't even a group. It's just one psychopath from Long Island. At least the crackhead has only one agenda, okay? And that is to consume more crack. The ADL has a separate agenda. Stop Antisemitism has a separate agenda, and is certainly not to combat anti-Semitism, mind you. It is to combat correct messages about Israel. It is to combat the truth. Accurso, 42, in an email response, denied having received any money from Hamas. This accusation is not only absurd, it's patently false. Accurso said, the reason I post about Israeli children is because I care deeply about them. The accusation that I would be doing it for any other reason is outrageous and wrong. I've spent my life committed to the learning and well-being of children. I have always believed that safety and security are a basic human right for every child. So you see, caring about children in Gaza is a direct continuation of the work I've been doing most of my life. We don't care about only some of our students because of where those students are born. We care about every one of them. Of course, yes, for those who are pro-Israel, they're like, no, why do you care about the Palestinian children? You're humanizing them too much. They're supposed to be dehumanized. Please stop humanizing the Palestinian children, okay? It's making our endless death and destruction campaign against Palestinian babies all the harder to sell to the American population, to the Western population. Please stop. Miss Rachel seems to be someone who's really, really good-hearted, but in the context of everything that's going on, she says, I care about all children, but really she's talking about the children of Gaza. Stacey Hackner, a teacher of London Cheater, a school of Jewish instruction, said in an interview, that has left a lot of Jewish parents feeling quite isolated. Taking money from Hamas is the funniest. Like, bro, do they even have money? First of all, I love that argument because it's like, they'll be like Ethan was claiming that I was getting money potentially from the Houthis, okay? Poorest nation on the planet, and they're giving me money, okay? At least with Qatar, like it's a, rich oil nation, right? Like that one, it makes more sense. But when these guys turn around and they're like, Hamas is giving you money, Iran is giving you money, the Houthis are giving you money. It's like, do you hear yourself? All you're doing is projecting that you're getting paid from AIPAC or some other like Israeli advocacy group. And you're like, everyone else must be doing it too. I'm doing it. She's like, I care about Palestinian children. And then people's response to that is, oh, so you want all Jews to be murdered? Is like, that's just a self-report, man. You have tied those two things together. Like saying that like Palestinian children shouldn't be murdered, slaughtered ruthlessly. If you think that automatically means that, a second Holocaust is going to happen, well, it is happening to the Palestinians, but a third Holocaust is going to happen in the aftermath of that. If they stop the baby murder, you're a psychopath.
In April, an advocacy group called Stop Anti-Semitism called her a mouthpiece for Hamas.
A group accused you of essentially acting as a foreign agent and asked, for the Attorney General to investigate you for spreading propaganda.
Obviously, that's not true. I care deeply about all children, Israeli, Palestinian, Jewish, Muslim, Christian. I wouldn't be Miss Rachel if I didn't speak up for them and speak up for all of them.
This is a prayer for all the children.
Miss Rachel has also used her platform to express grief over the deaths of Israeli children and said she's met with the family of hostages still in captivity.
Oh, she's keeping the walker with her.
Here in the U.S., Rahaf was fit for prosthetics and has learned how to walk again. A group called Palestinian Children's Relief Fund helped her and her mom get out. But her dad and two brothers are still in Gaza.
ورهف محظوظة كتير طبعا إنه رهف قدرت تطلع بس في أطفال تانيين لسه موجودين بغزة وبتمنى إنه هدول الأطفال إنه يطلعوا يتعالجوا زي رهف. طبعا في أطفال كتير لسه ما زالوا طبعا تحت الركام. أنا بشوف هذا الإشي طبعا لأنه بشوف أولادي كيف.
Bro, white people have one speed, dude. All lives matter. You know what I mean? Everything. Hold on now. They'd be all lives matter in the Holocaust, dude, if they knew exactly what the going on,
مجرد ما يحكوا مع رهف ولا حتى يشوفوها إنه ماسكة خبزة ولا بتاكل بصيروا يسألوا فيها. طبعا هذا الإشي كتير بيوجعني.
Anything is possible for Rahaf, and she has healthy food, and she has clean water, and she has wonderful medical care. This girl is thriving. We have to do this for all kids because they all deserve that.
It's worse than that. Miss Rachel is effectively being forced to adopt an All Lives Matter stance, and that is too offensive to Israeli advocates responding with a White Lives Matter more. Yeah. That is what it is, dude. I don't want to watch that full video again. I almost cried last time I watched it. I'm sorry. I can't watch it again.